ඔෆිස් එකේදී විතරක් නෙවෙයි මම දැන් ගෙදරදිත් IDD කෝල්ස් ගන්නේ SLT ෆෝන් එකේ.
ඔබේ නිවසේ SLT දුරකථනය දැන් IDD පහසුකම සහිතයි.
Good evening. Making headlines first at 9. It came in the night. Nearly 100 people killed by dust storms in India. Double impact. The Met Department warns of severe thunder showers with the heat advisory also in effect.
Public need to be very aware with the thunderstorms accompanied by severe lightning.
Without taking adequate water, they will end up with heat stroke and even death. To prevent all these, we should take more and more water.
Contradictions on weedicide. Researcher rubbishes government's claims behind lifting the ban on glyphosate.
I don't know what meant by the science and evidences, because the overwhelming majority of medical crowd in this country, they accept our study and our findings.
The group of 16, the 16 breakaway SLF peers in separate key talks with the former president and former premier.
The federal constitution that they are trying to bring can be avoided if you can get the two-thirds.
The task of the 16 members who left is to unite the party against UNP.
Looking from afar, former governor of the central bank warns against rupee depreciation while the rupee holds steady near record low. Bringing you news from across Sri Lanka and around the world on your premier English news service on Other Derana 24/7. I'm Indivari Amuatha. Fierce dust storms in northern India have killed at least 95 people, leaving scores more injured. Storms hit the northern Indian state of Uttar Pradesh and Rajasthan yesterday, uprooted trees, destroyed houses and killed livestock, as well as uprooting trees.
People in the Indian state of Uttar Pradesh and Rajasthan yesterday were caught unawares as ferocious sandstorms descended upon them. It left close to 100 people dead and many more injured. The storms disrupted electricity, uprooted trees, destroyed houses and killed livestock. Many of the dead were sleeping when their houses collapsed after being struck by intense bursts of lightning. Dust storms are common in this part of India during summer, but loss of life on this scale is unusual. Over 40 people are confirmed dead in the district of Agra, which is home to the Taj Mahal monument, with the official death toll set to increase. The storm also hit the capital Delhi more than 10 kilometers away, along with heavy rains late last evening.
Meanwhile, here in Sri Lanka, the Department of Meteorology says there will be no reprieve from the soaring temperatures affecting several areas in the island tomorrow, either, as high temperatures are set to continue. The statement comes on the back of the heat advisory issued by the Met Department yesterday. Meanwhile, the department also warns of contrasting weather prevailing in the country. It said the thunder showers of about 100 millimeters can be expected in the western, central and Sabaragamuwa as well as southern provinces of the island. The Disaster Management Centre too got into the mix today, moving to caution the public over possible thunderstorms accompanied by severe lightning set to hit most parts of the island.
The Department of Meteorology yesterday issued a heat advisory covering certain provinces including northern, north central, eastern and over as well as northwestern. The advisory was issued based on the reading in the heat index, and it is calculated by using relative humidity and maximum temperature, which is the condition felt on the human body. When the heat index is between levels of 27 to 38, it's considered normal. When the index is between 39 to 45, it's considered as caution, which can cause fatigue with prolonged exposure and activity and heat cramps as well. The levels between 46 to 52 is considered as extreme caution, as it can cause heat cramps and possible heat exhaustion. Levels over 52 is considered as danger, as heat cramps and heat strokes are possible. The Department of Meteorology, in consultation with the Department of Health, urges the public to stay hydrated and limit strenuous outdoor activities. Speaking to First at 9, consultant pediatrician Dr. Deepal Pereira elaborated on the matter.
These days we all face increased environment temperature. Then this could cause increased sweating and lot of symptoms, especially headache, dizziness, body aches and pains, sometimes vomiting. This could be prevented by increased intake of water and fluids, especially natural fluids like king coconut water, kanji water, lime, lemon juice, all these. But not colas and other artificial drinks. In addition to this, we all see increased skin diseases during this increased temperature. Skin diseases like sweat rash, eczema, psoriasis, all could be aggravated during this period. So we all should at least bath 2 times a day. If we have a bath, we should be in water at least more than 20 minutes. Especially for children, I advise to take more water. People who work outside, farmers, carpenters, all these laborers, they all should drink more and more water. In addition, we have seen heat stroke in these children and laborers who work outside, even in army personnel who have training. Without taking adequate water, they will end up with heat stroke and even death. To prevent all these, we should take more and more water.
In the meantime, following the Met Department's caution over thunder showers of about 100 millimeters, the Disaster Management Centre urges the public to be vigilant during thunderstorms accompanied by severe lightning.
So as per the meteorological department, so they have warned over the possibility of thunderstorm and heavy rainfall warning for the western province, Sabaragamu province and central northwestern province and the southern province as well. Public need to be very aware with the thunderstorms accompanied by severe lightning, and thunders are likely to occur in warning areas during next several hours. So people need to be very vigilant with that situations. So fairly rainfall would be expected more than 75 millimeters in those mentioned areas. And strong wind also been expected more than 70 to 80 kilometers per hour in those areas. Still the rain is recorded in many areas. We have aware all the communities as well as district disaster management units and the military and police and all responsible agencies.
Moving on to other local news, the government lifted the ban on the use of herbicide glyphosate for tea and rubber industries with effect from yesterday. And although this decision is welcomed in some quarters, it has been heavily criticized by those who stood for the policy decision. While announcing the lift of the ban yesterday at a media briefing, Minister of Plantation Industries Navin Dissanayake said one of the main reasons the ban was imposed is now proven to be baseless. The research that led to the ban has now proven baseless. Responding to these comments from the minister, the head of the research project, Professor Channa Jayasumana, accused that the ban was lifted with political and commercial gains in mind and not scientific evidence.
Research conducted by the Rajarata University and the University of California found that the herbicide glyphosate is a main factor leading to kidney disease within several areas in Sri Lanka. It was in this backdrop that the government completely banned imports of glyphosate-related products on the 23rd of October in 2015 through a Gazette notification. The Cabinet Committee on Economic Management also appointed a special committee to review the policy on weedicides and pesticides. In the latest development of the matter, Minister of Plantation Industries Navin Dissanayake yesterday announced that the ban on herbicide glyphosate is lifted for tea and rubber products. Responding to a question, the minister also said the research led by Professor Channa Jayasumana at the Rajarata University on causes for kidney disease was baseless. The particular research was one of the main reasons which led to the ban to use of glyphosate.
Professor Channa Jayasumana leading academic had proved that there is a link between glyphosate.
No, and there is no. We have.
And he says that there is a
evidence. No, there is no evidence like that. That's Channa Jayasumana, no hypothesis. It's not. There is no scientific basis of his paper.
Professor Channa Jayasumana responded to minister's comment during an interview with First at 9 today.
This is pathetic situation. I mean, the cabinet minister doesn't have good scientific background. I don't know what he meant by the science and evidences, because the overwhelming majority of medical crowd in this country, they accept our study and our findings. We did investigations in Sri Lanka as well as in California State University, Long Beach, USA. We produced epidemiological, analytical and medical evidences to support glyphosate is linked to this kidney disease. We did a preliminary investigation at the Padavi and Sripura area. If you compare the values per 1 month, about 40 to 50 patients were registered in the clinic. during 2012 and 13. Nowadays, it's almost reduced to 10. Not only the glyphosate banned in 2015, there were 4 other chemicals, and nobody talk about those 4 chemicals because glyphosate has the biggest market share in the pesticide industry in this country. So, is it proven those chemicals are linked to the kidney disease but not glyphosate? There are commercial and political reasons behind the voice on this lifting the ban on glyphosate.
Professor Jayasumana also highlighted that lack of research facilities in the country is a main problem when it comes to testing food products for toxins.
The thing is, we don't have a good laboratory to assess the toxic levels in the food and other biological samples. So that is one of the main reasons why we can't comment on certain things, because we don't have a good analytical report. For an example, the people say, even Minister Dissanayake said, in one tea consignment sent to Japan, they detected MCPA. But what about the tea consumed by the people in this country? Do they analyze tea or rice for pesticide residues? No. The main thing is we don't have a national policy on toxic materials.
Meanwhile, several other parties also raised concerns and criticism regarding the government's decision to lift the ban on usage of glyphosate-based weedicide. The Government Medical Officers Association is among these parties, claiming that it plans to take action against the government's latest decision.
The government has all of a sudden has decided to lift the ban on glyphosate. We have declared our stance very clearly that it should be a scientific decision if at all the government is going to lift the ban. Now that they have taken the political decision, and we have clearly said that we are objecting to that decision, and we will play our next round of actions in due course.
Today, the poisonal agrochemicals is the major reason for these deadly diseases. According to our accepted culture, common ethical aspects, these poisonous chemicals ought not to be used. So the government should know what ought and ought not to be done. But we understand the government and ministers are doing what ought not to be done.
Moving on to our political stories, former President Mahinda Rajapaksa says that an investigation will be launched into the instances where the United National Party has established power at local government bodies which were won by the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna. Former President Mahinda Rajapaksa made this remark in Mahava today.
Former President Mahinda Rajapaksa paid his last respects to the late North Western Provincial Councillor of the UPFA, Ananda Chandralal, today.
God bless the country because they only reshuffle the same people in the government. And there is nothing scientific about this. They shouldn't use such words. Yes, there have been a few reports. We hope to investigate it.
Meanwhile, a special discussion was held among the members of the joint opposition at the residence of the former President Mahinda Rajapaksa yesterday. First at 9 today spoke to one of the attendees, UPFA parliamentarian Keheliya Rambukwala, today over the meeting.
There's a group meeting. In fact, that was entirely focused on the May Day. May 7th, we're going to have it in Galle. And I believe that we are the only people that has a May Day rally. All the other major political parties have avoided that for whatever the reason. We expect to bring a massive crowd. We are quite used to it. With regard to the 16 people who did vote with the no confidence motion, I requested Secretary General of Parliament to make seating arrangements within the opposition. As you know, the President Rajapaksa welcomed them because they are SLFPs, they can group up together. Also, wage a fight against the major opposition as we are concerned is the UNP, selling part of Sri Lanka, getting into free trade agreements almost unilaterally. We need the numbers in the parliament. We are looking at not giving them anymore the 2/3 federal constitution that they are trying to bring with the assistance and with a lot of pressure from outside can be avoided if we can get the 2/3.
In the meantime, 16 members of the SLFP who left the unity government met with former Prime Minister D.M. Jayaratne today. During an interview with First at 9, parliamentarian Chandima Virakodi expressed views on the discussion.
Next step has to be the SLFP as a party leaving this unity government. Our policies and UNP policies don't match, especially with the Prime Minister sitting there as the Prime Minister. Divided SLFP politically brought about this situation in this country. The task of the 16 members who left is to unite the party, not only the SLFP, not only the UPFA, but all those who would love to serve the nation against UNP and the Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe. Majority of them will get together. Of course, there are few who are, though they technically posing off as SLFP members, they are representing UNP. Except for those few, others will all get back together. We have had divisions earlier also. Reuniting in politics is not a difficult task. What is best for the people should be what we should look at.
Chairman of the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna, Professor G.L. Pires, meanwhile says that the government should dissolve Parliament immediately and allow the general public to decide what they need. Speaking to First at 9, Professor Pires said that will be the only solution to bring the current uncertainty to rest. The SLFP's chairman added that the group of 16 SLFP members who vacated their portfolios in the unity government are welcome to work with the joint opposition.
With the prorogation of Parliament, Parliament has been deprived of the opportunity of exercising control over public finance, which is one of their main purposes. Today, taxation is double what it was in 2014. Something like 680 billion rupees are required to service the public debt. So these are all matters in respect of which Parliament must have control, and Parliament cannot have that control because Parliament does not sit, and the Parliament does not sit because it has been prorogued. So this is the situation. It is not surprising that 16 members of the SLFP now wish to sit in the ranks of the opposition. I have been asked what is the position of the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna in that regard. My answer is that whoever accepts the leadership of President Mahinda Rajapaksa and the policies of the SLPP are certainly welcome to talk to us. Our doors are open, and that is our unequivocal position. So finally, I want to say that the solution that we need is not a fifth cabinet reshuffle. His Excellency President Maithripala Sirisena is scheduled to make a policy statement in Parliament on the 8th of May. After that, there will be a debate, and the only solution is for a quick dissolution of Parliament thereafter to enable the people of this country to decide what kind of government they want. They must be given that opportunity, and all these cosmetic changes will not provide us with any lasting solution to the grievous issues that confront the country today.
Following the reappointment of the Cabinet of Ministers, several ministers and state ministers assumed duties today. Media personnel presented, however, could not steer clear from posing questions about the reappointment of the Cabinet.
Minister Vijit Vijayamuni Soisa assumed duties as the new Minister of Fisheries, Aquatic Resources Development and Rural Economic Affairs at the Ministry in Colombo today.
During his government, I held 3 portfolios. I was transferred to 3 ministries in that short period of 5 years. This is how he too shuffled the pack.
Minister Duminda Disanayake, who was sworn in as the Minister of Irrigation, Water Resources and Disaster Management, assumed duties at the Ministry of Disaster Management this morning.
The accusation persists against the government over lack of action 1 year on from the Meethotamulla incident, and it's not just limited to the ministry. I promise all those affected that justice will be done by them within 6 months.
කැබිනට් සංශෝධනය රටේ තියෙන ආර්ථික සමාජීය විපක්ෂ වලට සුම්මක් නෙවෙයි කියලා ඒකවත් චෝදනා කරනවා.
ඇත්තටම ගත්තොත් එම කැබිනට් සංශෝධනය කියන්නේ
The cabinet reshuffle is not a solution for the country's economic issues. We needed it since the president spoke of it, and the public also spoke out on certain other matters. That is why it is important. What's economically important is the government's policy decisions and providing the public what they need.
රටේ ආර්ථික වශයෙන් ඉතාමත් වැදගත් වෙන්නේ.
In the meantime, the newly appointed Minister of Agriculture, Minister Mahinda Amaraveera, took office at his ministry in Rajagiriya today.
We now have no chance to play the blame game. The UNP and the SLFP are working together as a national government. We won't allow the UNP to work purely based on their policies, and we can't do the same either. The President cannot escape by pinpointing faults of the UNP, and neither can the Prime Minister. Both parties have an equal responsibility. Field Marshal Sarath Fonseca too assumed duties as the Minister of Sustainable Development, Wildlife and Regional Development. Many are of the stance that justice is not done by the country's forests and wildlife. I won't say that the Ministry of Wildlife was thieving. According to the Sinhala Buddhist culture, people of this country love animals. The Deputy Minister being given is also a strength to me.
Following the event, Minister Fonseca also responded to questions posed by journalists.
ඒ වගේම සමාජ ජාලාවල වෙබ් අඩවිවල ඔබතුමා ගැන විශ්වාසය පළ කළ සමහර පළ වෙලා තිබ්බ මේ වනය එලි කරලා නිවාස හදනේව සම්බන්ධයෙන් විශේෂයෙන් මන්නාරම් ආශ්‍රිත ප්‍රදේශයේ පසුගිය දවස්වල ඇතිලා තිබ්බ ගැටලුව සම්බන්ධයෙන් ඒ සම්බන්ධයෙන් ඔබතුමා පියවරක් ගන්න බලාපොරොත්තු වෙනද වනය එලි කරලා මේ ජනපද ඇති කිරීම සම්බන්ධයෙන්
වනය එලි කරලා ඒ ඉඩම් අල්ලා ගැනීම අපි අනිවාර්යෙන් නවත්තනවා.
We will definitely stop deforestation and land grabbing. Not only in Mana, but even in the south beyond Monragala has this issue with thousands of acres grabbed by politicians after clearing forests.
දකුණේ මිනිස්සුත් එලි කරලා දේශපාලනඥයෝ ඒවා අල්ලගෙන තියෙනවා.
You are watching Sri Lanka's award-winning news channel, Derana 24/7.
Welcome back. Well, Sri Lankan Airlines today issued a statement explaining delays to several Sri Lankan Airlines flights during the day. The statement said that an untimely sickness of a passenger inbound from the Gulf initiated a diversion to Cochin of one flight. It went on to say that another aircraft inbound from Kuwait was caught in a dust storm and required attention from engineers. Two other aircraft were also delayed for technical reasons that have since been resolved. Sri Lankan Airlines said that the lack of aircraft meant that a number of flights, namely UL884, UL281 and UL314, as well as UL406 and UL604, suffered prolonged delays. In your business segment, the Sri Lankan rupee ended steady today, holding near the record low hit in the previous session as importer dollar demand was met by greenback sales by state banks. Meanwhile, Senior Deputy Governor Dr. Nandalal Veerasinghe has said that the rupee will stabilize and the Monetary Authority will intervene to smooth high volatility as there is no reason for a weaker currency. He has, however, warned against market manipulation. The rupee hit a fresh all-time low of 157 rupees and 90 cents per dollar yesterday, the sixth session in which the rupee has hit record lows out of 7 since April 23rd. The rupee closed at 157 and 80 cents and 158 rupees per dollar today, unchanged from yesterday's close. The Sri Lankan rupee, or the currency, has fallen 0.9% last week and 1.5% in April. And former governor of the central bank, Ajit Nivad Cabral, observes that the stumbling Sri Lankan rupee puts the country and the economy into an irrevocable crisis. He called on the government to consider the state of exports and the outstanding debt stock in order to manage the situation.
I have proved it very categorically. The growth figures in 2016 was entirely erroneous. When the rupee is depreciating, if they say, no, it's okay, they say it's for the benefit of the country, then we should be frightened. They are deceiving. If they say that the rupee depreciation is good, what will they do? Then they'll allow it to happen. Let's say it will stop at 170. Then they say, no, it's still not good enough. Let's go to 180. Where will it stop? Where does this country go? This is very, very serious. It's not only now a question of this government, it is the entire economy that is at stake.
Exports are only $11 billion. Imports are 19.5 billion. So when you try to help exports, what happens to imports? You are losing much more through the imports when the rupee depreciates.
The former governor went on to say that the government should be thoughtful of the repayment of outstanding debt stock and interest payment.
We didn't come and cry at press conferences. We didn't come and say we cannot pay debt. We worked hard to make every one of those macro fundamentals better and better. So if you cannot fix it, just throw them out. Prime Minister is the one who is complaining every day, saying that we cannot pay the debt. We never had any decision where we had to go to the government. Every time we did certain things, we were careful that it should be done in a way that the political goodwill will also be maintained. So this government doesn't bother about those things. So we have been careful. And we had enough press conference. We faced every question. All of you
And the Colombo equities concluded today's trading session on a positive note, with the SPI improving by 5.24 index points and the S&P SL20 index gaining 6.61 index points. Daily turnover reached 463 million rupees, supported by Sampath Bank with 88 million rupees, the highest contribution to turnover today. Foreign investors in the meantime were net buyers with net inflows of 46 million rupees. We have details from the Colombo Stock Exchange, and RM Sivanandan is joining us.
The market capitalization at the end of the day was 3,045.9 billion rupees. Today there was a crossing, and the crossing turnover was 50.2 million rupees. Today's foreign purchases was 141.25 million rupees and the foreign sales was 94.91 million rupees.
And Minister of Law and Order Ranjit Madhuma Bandara has instructed police to conduct an immediate investigation into the incident of the prestigious Indian award given to acclaimed Sri Lankan film director, the late Dr. Lester James Peris, being missing since last evening at his funeral. The award is the first international award received by the globally acclaimed Sri Lankan film director.
The prestigious Indian award, the Golden Peacock Award, was given to the acclaimed Sri Lankan film director, late Dr. Lester James Peris, went missing last evening during his funeral. He was honoured with the award in 1965. The Golden Peacock Award was displayed by his coffin.
Yesterday was one of the saddest days, not only for the film community but for the entire nation. The final farewell of our greatest filmmaker, Dr. Lester James Peris. But again, at the same time, something that happened which makes us all feel ashamed about ourselves. The most valuable possession of Dr. Lester James Peris, his first international award, Golden Peacock Award, he won in 1965 for Gamperaliya. It had been stolen away from his house just as his body was removed from the house to be carried to the Independence Square. I think this is a heinous crime. I don't know why or how anybody could do that. Maybe somebody would have thought that there is a lot of monetary value in it. We don't think so. It's not that. But it is an invaluable thing for Dr. Lester James Peris' family. This is his film heritage. I appeal very earnestly, whoever the person who took it, please return it.
You are watching Sri Lanka's #1 news channel, Other Derana 24/7.
World News, former New York City Mayor Rudy Giuliani, who joined President Donald Trump's legal team last month, says that Trump repaid the $130,000 his lawyer gave to an adult film star to buy her silence about an alleged affair with the president. Trump has said he did not know about the payment to Stormy Daniels, who says she had a one-night stand with Trump in 2016.
US President Donald Trump's affiliations with adult film star Stormy Daniels came under intense scrutiny when it emerged that Trump's lawyer Michael Cohen paid her $130,000 in 2016 to keep quiet an alleged sexual encounter with Trump before the presidential election. Trump, however, continues to insist that he did not know about the payment to Stormy Daniels, who says she had a one-night stand with Trump in 2006, which the White House denies. In a televised interview yesterday, former mayor of New York City, Rudy Giuliani, who recently became part of Trump's legal team, said that Trump repaid the $130,000 his lawyer gave to an adult film star to buy her silence about an alleged affair with the president.
Having something to do with paying some Stormy Daniels woman $130,000, I mean, which is going to turn out to be perfectly legal. That money was not campaign money. Sorry, I'm giving you a fact now that you don't know. It's not campaign money. No campaign finance violation. So
they funneled it through the law firm.
Funneled through the law firm, and the president repaid it.
sports tonight. Delhi Daredevils defeated Rajasthan Royals by 4 runs in a rain-curtailed thriller to register their 3rd win of the 2018 Indian Premier League at the Feroz Shah Kotla Stadium yesterday. With the victory, Daredevils were raised to 6th in the standings with 6 points.
Being invited to bat first, Delhi Daredevils put together 196 for 6 against Rajasthan Royals before rain halted play. With the game being reduced to 18 overs per side, Prithvi Shaw played a brilliant 47 before Daredevils captain Shreyas Iyer and Rishabh Pant scored half-centuries to put together a 92-run stand. In reply, Joss Butler gave a solid start for the visitors with a 26-ball 67, with Darcy Short also scoring 44 runs. Eventually, Rajasthan fell short by 4 runs according to the Duckworth-Lewis method, as they were chasing a revised target of 151 off 12 overs following the rain delay.
The Delhi Daredevils for this match, 4 games here at home.
Well, Justin Langer today took over the reins as Australia's head coach on a 4-year contract, replacing Darren Lehmann following the ball tampering scandal in South Africa that rocked world cricket. Long touted as Lehmann's successor, former Test opener Langer landed the role earlier than planned after his predecessor resigned following the Cape Town scandal, despite being cleared of any wrongdoing himself.
Former Australian opening batsman Justin Langer was long touted as the man to take over as Australia head coach after Darren Lehmann, who intended to step down in 2019. Langer was unveiled to media as the new head coach of Australia cricket much sooner than expected, following the resignation of Lehmann on the back of the ball tampering scandal. The 47-year-old takes over a depleted team with captain Steve Smith and vice-captain David Warner, the side's 2 top batsmen, suspended for a year for their roles in the ball tampering.
I think one of the things that's really important is that we keep looking to earn respect. To me, respect's worth more than all the gold in the world, so earn respect on and off the cricket field. It's not just about how we play our cricket, it's also about being good citizens and being good Australians.
Moving on to your weather forecast for the next 24 hours. Thunder showers of about 100 millimeters can be expected in the areas in the western, central and Sabragamo areas of and as well as the southern part of Sri Lanka. And we also now have the city-by-city weather forecast for the next 24 hours. And that's it from here at First at 9. And before we go, as usual, we'd like to leave you with some breathtaking visuals. We take you to some magnificent sights of St. Clair's Falls located along the Hatton-Thalawakale Highway. It is one of the widest waterfalls in the country and is commonly known as the Little Niagara of Sri Lanka. Enjoy these visuals. Have a pleasant evening. Good night.
Bringing you the news and information 24 hours a day. This is Sri Lanka's premier news channel, Other Derana 24/7.